there's a special section in heaven for atheists. Where the angels are wingless and without halo. For the God in which I believe don't believe in imposing God's self on those who don't believe in God but practice divine principles just the same.
Ow! Come on now!
I mean, what sense would it make to make a man say what you think using the word you use, even though it's clear that what you thought is identical to what he said? Unless, of course, you got a marketing plan and your concepts of divinity are for sale. Trademark, copyrighted, patent pending on your perfect pathway to enlightenment. Since when did being about my father's business mean I was required to file for a business license? And though we must render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, selling our souls makes us a bunch of tax deductible believers. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm misreading. But isn't the charging of usury to one's own people the reason temple tables got turned over by Jesus?
Come on, sir!
And no righteous man would turn tables over a simple disagreement, right? And if it's important enough to go in the book of books about his life, the Acts of the Apostle must have meaning, right?
Right.
Or do we get to pick and choose? Which pieces of testament we want to use to compose a Bible that suits us like a Sunday morning three-piece? Can you feel it?
All right.
The minds in the room trying to figure out how close I am to their idea of blasphemy, hearts pounding like gavel with verdict that I have converted to non-believer. As if the deeper my dialogue, the deeper the circle of hell, I'm sentenced to live out eternity according to who?
Right.
You? You who box God into superstition, then stand beside me like we share religion.
Shit.
You who don't know that religion basically means the same thing as yoga and algebra. It's all about the restoration of broken parts. You who worship the graven image, making Jesus Christ superstar-studded diamond pendants to dangle from the necks of the most popular descendants of those who dangled by their necks from the branches of the most popular trees. Nigga, please. If knowledge is power, then ignorance is the absence thereof. And you can wander around believing ignorance is bliss for as long as you wanna. Walking dead man's nirvana, zombie apocalypse Valhalla. If I dumb down for my audience to double my dollars, you would criticize me for it but still yell holler.
What?
So what difference does it make? If I'm perpendicular to the square, building interior castles in the air, or wandering around aimless without the slightest fucking care in the world, as long as I am a man of my word, and don't get it twisted, I got numerous flaws. I'll buy you a magnifying glass, a tin blade, and a fine-tooth comb if you want to pick me apart. Dissect the darkness that keeps me searching for light. Zoom in on the most minuscule aspects of my life. Tell me you automatically get heaven for believing in Christ, even if no action you taken is remotely Christ-like. But a man who operates authentic while searching the annals of history for proof of Jesus' existence, you automatically condemn him?
Yeah.
Nigga, please. Listen.
Keep listening.
I have simply come to understand that a soul choosing to believe and practice different than I have does not make them any less of a soul than I am. Amen. See, God's bounty is greater than any man's boundary. Besides, violating your personal space to prove I got personal space is pointless. It's like throwing my crown at your throne. It's like invading your dominion when I got a kingdom of my own. See, there's a special section in heaven for atheists. Where the angels are wingless and without halo. Where the omnipresent withdraws its presence. And the prayers are never answered. Because that is exactly what the residents requested. Amen. Being what I was once, upon a timelessness, blindness best describes this depth of light and blessed. is the only term appropriate when labeling this self-declaration of interdependent holiness, seeing my soul's inner eye like you hold me next to your heart, to your breast, to your thoughts. I live in your breath. Inhaling your scent, you smell like a swarm of chamomile butterflies fluttering in the abdomen of an archangel. Translation. Your fragrance gives me rest within the body of a message I transform into a messenger in order to protect it from the stench of lust. And we've been told that lust is a sin. But how many of us know that sin is as simple as missing the mark? Rephrase. Sin is as simple as Cupid missing the shot. Therefore, lust is what happens to love when it's missing the heart. Lust.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Lust is what happens to God when we are missing the hear, the ear, and the heart, the moment, the attention, and the spark of inspiration I draw from you. I draw on you like a canvas. I'm drawn to you like a magnet. Every day I draw the dawn of you from the eastern horizon's hat like 365 Easter rabbits. Our bond is fertile ground. Our crucified yesterdays could become resurrected tomorrows, but we choose the space in between. Not living, not dead, just being. We pronounce each other's names like deities with reverence, with awe. You see a Sar in my scars. I see Oshun in your wounds. You're moist, all set. My staff, oh goon, fully clothed on opposing sides of a room. Our abilities to heal one another like boom. What? Instantaneous. Extemporaneous, freestyle containment. Vulnerability of this degree is dangerous in the hands of people who think they know better. For literacy is more than just the recognition of letters, and reading is fundamental to the comprehension of love's message. Me sage, you fire, we purify together. Volatile in the smallest measure, rulers of our own forever. Silence is our favorite record, and we've spun it so regular that our conversations have become telekinetic. You no longer tell me what's on your mind. Your mind tells me what's on your soul. You look at me like a secret that wants to be exposed to I and I alone. The beauty of our connection falls on deaf eyes. Word is, it's not love, but men who are blind. Not as in we cannot see, but as in we can only see one facet of love at a time until we become the love that we were once upon a time. Lessness, blindness best describes this depth of light, and blessed is the only term appropriate when labeling this self-declaration of interdependent holiness. My love, I love. I am in love. I am love with you.
Yes.
The world is perfect inasmuch as it accurately represents the clashing thought patterns of the imperfect people in it. All proclaim to want change for the better of self and progeny. Most think the coming change of which Sam Cooke sang is mere fantasy. Reality for them is a life expected to get worse, then magically reverse once they leave this earth. Fewer still can actually see how all of the above applies to the following affirmations. Ask and ye shall receive. What you sow is what you reap. But imagine, your life is a farm, and the soil is not only fertile, it's immortal. It develops and nurtures anything you choose to plant or allow to be planted in it, even the seeds of things to which you paid no attention. Now pay attention. Any seed that takes root in your soil shall return to you larger at harvest. Repeat. Any seed that takes root in your soil shall return to you larger at harvest. Think of everything you think you are. A mother, a father, a whore, an alcoholic, a mechanic, a doctor, a student, an artist, valuable, worthless, beautiful, ugly, arrogant, conceited, incapable of trusting, angry at the world for not loving you. Now recall the freedom of youth. When everything you think you are today wasn't permanent truth. In those moments, you were constantly changing. Constantly playing with grand ideas about what to become here in this world that perfectly aligned with every change made inside. Never once did you realize you were poor. Until television and radio sold you rich images while prophesying you envious, you agreed, became envious of the rich, and thus poor. Never once did you see anything less than beauty in the mirror until someone whose opinion you respect compared you to their personal standards while prophesying your complexion and proportions unattractive. You agreed and became unattractive. Damn. Once the seed is planted, the harvest it shall happen. But for an idea to continue blossoming on the farm within, the farmer has to take the seeds and plant them again, because everything born dies.
Come on now.
The best and worst thoughts we've had hidden deep down inside have been born and died 1,000,000 times at least. They are the same seeds we secretly harvest and replant several hundred times a week, included in the prayers before we eat and go to sleep. In every conversation, they are the current underneath. You've known words have power. No one told you the power isn't in, but behind the words you speak. Or the reason that silence is golden is that it blesses you with the fortune of hearing yourself, possibly tearing yourself apart, which blesses you with the fortune of bringing self-destruction to a halt should you so choose. If only you knew your difficulties are not your fault. Your difficulties are your thoughts. You are responsible for them, have a responsibility to them, even if no one taught you to control or use them beyond basic calculations in the exchange system of labor for payment or ego manipulation. Get what you want at the disregarded expense of other people's pain and follow the suffering back to its source, back to the moment another soul was allowed to determine your worth, decide the pinnacle of your position. It may have sounded like this. You ain't gonna ever be shit. Repeat. You ain't gonna ever be shit. Now follow the repetition to the point where you agreed. Stand in this memory and hear me. You were already the shit. That's why the soil is so fertile. You harvested everything you planted. You harvested everything you planted. That's why the world is so perfect. So if you don't like oranges, dig up the orchard and plant apples. If you don't like roses, dig up the bushes and plant snapdragons. If you don't like anger, if you don't like frustration, if you don't like suffering, if you don't like poverty, dig up the weeds and plant compassion. See, it's your farm, it's your life, it's your mind. You're responsible for what happens in this perfect world. Yeah. And that the world is perfect will make so much more sense once we plant this seed belief. Perfection is not a synonym or easy. Repeat. Perfection is not a synonym for easy. Repeat. Perfection is not a synonym for easy. Now follow the repetition to the point where you agree.
Oh!